Good morning. Hi, everyone. This is Miss Englert. You're due now for today, Tuesday, April 20th, 2021. We are learning about how to use station models. So, your due now is to think about it. What is weather? What variables determine the weather at a specific place and time? Then you're going to write terms that you might use to describe the weather. So, what are some words you might use in everyday language to describe weather? So, weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a given place and time. So, weather is temporary and it is dependent on where you are. So, the words that you're going to be highlighting are condition, oh, that's a big line. Condition of the atmosphere at a given, time and place. Sorry, I keep saying those backwards. I like to say place and time, apparently. So, our different weather variables are temperature, which you've probably heard of. I mean, you should have. We got temperature, we have air pressure, wind, humidity, cloud cover, precipitation, and storms. So, those 7 conditions are things that we will describe using these station models. So, a station model, they're not really used much anymore because we can just look this up on our phones and we don't really have to know how to look at these, but we keep them on the regions for some reason. So station models are symbols, so sort of pictures on a map that describe the weather variables at a specific location and time. So this is what a station model looks like. It's got a circle, it has a branch coming off, those are going to be called feathers, and those will tell you all of these different variables, and we'll describe each of those variables as we go through today. So atmospheric variables represented in a station model are all of these things. I don't think the only thing that you're going to have to write down are these actual and the units on these. All right, so we got degrees Fahrenheit, miles for visibility, degrees Fahrenheit for dew point, knots for wind speed, millibars for pressure, millibars for trend, and inches for precipitation. So in order to tell temperature, our temperature, the way we're going to find it is at the top left of your station model, and your units are going to be in degrees Fahrenheit. You might have to convert from degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, and you're going to use that using your ESRT. In this case, if the temperature is 28 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to write that up here, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. And hopefully it'll fit there. Our next variable is present weather or visibility, and that location is center left. Your visibility is going to be measured in miles, so if you see that letter there, it's going to be in miles. You need to use your ESRT for present weather symbols. So if the present weather symbol is snow, snow is actually a kind of asterisk star shape. I think it's only those. So you would, I think it would be 1/2 and then a star right next to it. So our next variable is dew point. Dew point is going to be on the lower left. The units are going to be in degrees Fahrenheit. You need your ESRT to convert and calculate the dew point. So if we were to look at all of those, from the first one, it was 28 degrees Fahrenheit, and then it was 1/2 mile, and it was snowing, and then you would need to add the 27 degrees Fahrenheit down to the bottom left. Our next variable is wind direction / wind speed. The location, so you're going to look at this arm, and it's going to be where the wind is coming from. So in this case, the wind direction is where the wind is coming from. So remember, like, this is like the rooster. Animals stick their butts towards where the wind is coming from because they don't want their face in the wind. So this tail is pointing to the, if you remember our compass, north, east, south, west. This is actually coming from the south west. That's where the wind is coming from. And then the feathers, this full line is going to be 10 knots. And the small line is going to be 5 knots. So you just add those together, and we know that the wind direction is southwest, and it is 15 knots. So on this one, you're going to find the wind speed and the direction. So where you need to label where is the wind speed, and then what direction is it coming from. So I think direction is actually easier. So for this one, you guys just need to remember your north, south, east. Oh my goodness. North, east, south, and west. Okay, on that little compass. So this is actually coming from the northeast. So that is our direction. And then you're going to count those feathers. So we have 1, 2, 3 full feathers, and then a half feather. So that is 35 knots. And you're going to figure that out for the others as well. Our next variable is cloud cover, and that's going to be the center circle, so that entire circle. And the units are a percentage. So you would shade how much cloud cover is the percentage. So this says 75%. So it's like a pie chart. So 75% of that model is actually filled in. So if you look at all of these, 0% is going to be completely empty. 100% if it's overcast, that means you can't see the sun. So if you can't see the sun, it's going to be completely covered. So on this one, you're going to go through again and write the percent of cloud cover. Remember, it's just a pie chart. That's all you need to write. This is the one that's kind of tricky. So our variable for this one is going to be in millibars. This is our air pressure. This one is just, it's a little bit tricky here. So we do this really, it's really kind of tricky to read this one, so I gotta describe it carefully. So let me just check my next slide. Okay, we will decode the air pressure on this one. So, come on. It is actually written to the side. I will show you, this is what it is written as. It is written as 196. So I will give you guys the decoding area on this next slide. This is the dumbest thing. Okay, so to decode the air pressure, if this number, so this number is 196. 196. So 196 is lower than 500. If it is higher than 500, you put a 9 in front of it, but it is less than 500, so you put a 10 in front of it. So let me rewrite this. So it's 196. So because it is less than 500, we're going to put a 10 in front. And then, let me write those closer. So we're going to put a 10 in front, and then we're going to put a decimal point in between the last two numbers. And this is actually measured in millibars. I can't explain to you why they do this, but this is what we do. So if this is our encoded air pressure, so if you look at this number, this is, remember, if it's less than 500, you put a 10 in front and a decimal between the last two numbers. So this is 002. So we're going to write 002. We're going to put a 10 in front and then put a period in between the last two numbers. This guy, 950, is greater than 500. So we're going to put a 9 in front. So this is 950. we're going to put a 9 in front and then put a period at the end and add millibars to the end of that. So you guys will do 280 and 045 yourselves. And then I think the rest is just practice. Okay. Oh, you have to go the other way around. Okay. So in order to go the other way around, so this one, if this was 10, 1, 9, 6, and there's a period there, millibars, the first thing you're going to do is take off the millibars. You're going to take out the decimal, and then you're going to only report these last 3 digits. So if you're putting this on your station model, sorry if this is your station model, very terribly drawn. If that's your station model, you would only report those last 3 numbers, 196. So here we practice this again. So for example, if this is 10, 3, 2.7 millibars, we're going to take off that millibar, we're going to get rid of that decimal, and we're only going to report these numbers. So it's going to be 3, 2, 7. And that is what you would put on your station model. So then you guys will just do those other 3. Our last variable is precipitation. So precipitation is written on the lower right. And that's going to be how much is actually precipitated in the last 6 hours. So in this case, precipitation was 0.25 inches. So you would just write 0.25 down here. And that's it. There's a lot of information on station models. We don't really use them anymore, but that is how you would read one of those. So go ahead and finish that Pear Deck, and we will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.